Hey everyone, I'm Neha from India Hikes and you've tuned into Trek Pro Tips with Neha. In this video, I'll be telling you how to reach the Harkidun Trek's base camp, that is Sangkri. Sangkri is this small but very popular base camp village. It's the start of many great Himalayan treks like Kedarkanta, Fulara Ridge, Bali Pass. All these treks start from Sangkri. And getting to Sangkri is quite easy and straightforward. Yet, the last couple of times that I was traveling to Sangkri, I realized it's very important to know a few things to be able to reach Sangkri quickly and easily. So in this video, I'll give you my pro tips so that you can plan your travel to Sangkri, whether you're trekking with India Hikes or if you're trekking on your own. Let's start by getting an overview of the journey that you'll be taking. No matter where you're coming from, you'll have to first come to Dehradun. That's your main start point. So if you want to know how to reach Dehradun, then I'd ask you to check out my link in the description below where I'll tell you the best way to go about this. From Dehradun, you have a long road journey to Sangkri. It'll be about 187 kilometers and it'll easily take about 9 to 10 hours depending on whether you're going by bus or share taxi. So first, I'll tell you what you'll need to do if you're trekking with India Hikes. Now, if you're trekking with India Hikes, we'll be arranging this transport from Dehradun to Sangkri. You'll have to come to our pickup point, which is the Dehradun railway station at 6:30 am sharp. We have a second pickup point at Mussoorie, which is about 33 kilometers away. And if you want to join us at Mussoorie, then your pickup point will be the Library Chowk at 8 am. Now make sure that you're on time because you're traveling with your fellow trekkers and we want to stick to the schedule and reach Sangkri base camp in good time. So make sure you're not late whether you're coming to Dehradun or to Mussoorie. If you're trekking on your own and you're planning your travel from Dehradun to Sangkri, then you have two ways of going about it. You can either take the bus or you can take the share taxi. With the buses, it's quite convenient because there are buses leaving every day from Dehradun and heading directly to Sangkri. They leave early morning and you have three options. There's one at 5:30, 6:30 and the last bus leaving at 8 o'clock. All these buses would cost you around 300 to 320 rupees. The 5:30 and the 6:30 buses, they are private buses and you'll have to know where to find them. So I'll help you out with a couple of landmarks. Now when you step out of the Dehradun railway station and you cross over to the main Gandhi Road, diagonally on the right, you'll see two hotels. One is Hotel Grand and the other is Milan Palace. So the private buses, they'll be parked near these two hotels. You can also ask around because people are used to travelers looking for direct buses going to Sangkri. The 8 o'clock bus is a government bus and that is a bus that you'll be able to find within the premise of the railway station. So when you step out of the railway station, on the left side, you'll be able to find this government bus leaving at 8 o'clock to Sangkri. I have a pro tip for you here. I've traveled by all these three buses and I've noticed that the government buses are better than the private buses. This is simply because the private buses, they tend to take longer to reach Sangkri. They pick up passengers on the way and they tend to have very long breaks. So usually, though the private buses leave earlier than the government bus, the government and the private buses reach about the same time. So what I usually like to do is that I'll get an extra hour of sleep in the morning, catch the 8 o'clock government bus and then head to Sangkri. Having an extra hour of rest is always good. And the one thing that I would ask you to do if you're planning to take the government bus is that you make sure you catch this because after the 8 o'clock bus, there are no direct buses leaving to Sangkri and you're far too late into the day to catch any other mode of transport. Your second option is to take a share taxi from Dehradun to Sangkri. Now, like with the private buses, the share taxis, they don't have a particular stand. They'll be parked the same place I mentioned the private buses will be parked. So right next to these hotels, you'll find these taxis parked. Now, there are no taxis that go directly from Dehradun to Sangkri, but if you're traveling in a group of say 5 to 6 people, you can actually negotiate with the driver to take you directly to Sangkri. I'd say if you ask him to take you to Sangkri and he's able to give you the deal in 6,000 to 6,500 rupees, then it's a really good bargain. Otherwise, you can break your journey up. These taxis actually go to Purola rather than Sangkri. Purola is a place 54 kilometers before Sangkri. So you can head to Purola and it'll cost you about 300 rupees. You'll be taking a share taxi from Purola to Sangkri. So depending on the number of people in the vehicle, it'll cost you anywhere between 100 to 150 rupees to reach Sangkri. Now keep in mind that if you're planning to break up your journey and head first from Dehradun to Purola and then from Purola to Sangkri, I have a pro tip for you. Make sure that you reach Purola before 2 pm. The reason I say this is that there are no vehicles that go from Purola to Sangkri after 2 pm. And this means that you'll have to stay at Purola, and that's not something that I would recommend. So make sure that you plan your travel from Dehradun to Purola to reach in good time. It'll take you about 4.5 hours. Whether you're traveling with India Hikes or you're traveling on your own, I have one very important pro tip for you. I want you to come to Dehradun the night before, stay there, and then head to Sangkri the next morning. The reason I say this is that I've noticed that a lot of trekkers, seeing that they have to leave Dehradun early morning to head to Sangkri, they usually tend to take an overnight train or a bus to reach Dehradun. So they reach early morning and then they'll directly take the bus or the cab to head to Sangkri. Now what happens here is that they are having this overnight journey followed by a 9 to 10 hours road journey, and then they reach the base camp quite tired. And the body gets completely exhausted, and the trekkers don't realize this. In fact, when they get onto the trek also, they tend to find that they are able to do the trek perhaps, but they're not able to fully enjoy it because they're constantly feeling tired. The body has not had time to recover from the long travel of almost 24 hours. So keep in mind that when you're making your travel plans, you plan in a way that you are able to get the right amount of rest at the right time. Because it's just not the travel, it's also the trek that you have to do at the end of this travel. So keeping this in mind, I would really recommend that you come to Dehradun, stay there the night, and then leave for Sangkri the next morning. Now let me talk about the highlights of the journey that you must look out for when you're traveling from Dehradun to Sangkri. If you're traveling with India Hikes, you'll be going via Mussoorie, and I don't have to tell you, it's one of the most beautiful hill stations. It's a lovely drive as you go through Mussoorie. But what I want you to look out for is the Greater Himalayan Range. On a clear day, you'll be able to spot Mount Bandarpunj. So make sure you look out for this when you're going via Mussoorie right after the library end. Now if you're traveling on your own, you'll be going via Vikas Nagar. Either way, further up, you'll reach a place called Yamuna Pul. Now Pul is the Hindi word for bridge, and when you cross the Yamuna Pul, you'll have river Yamuna flowing next to you all the way up until Nagaon. It's very pretty to have a river next to you as you drive up to a place. Further after Nagaon, you'll reach a place called Purola, which I mentioned earlier is 54 kilometers before Sangkri. Now Purola is when things get really exciting. From Purola, you'll be going to a place called Mori, which is about 32 kilometers. You'll be driving up to a high point and then driving all the way down to Mori. And it's very beautiful because you have pine forests on either side all through the drive. It's almost like the pine trees are engulfing you as you go from Purola to Mori. But my favorite part is when you reach Mori. Because Mori is when you have River Tons next to you. And because Mori is an east-west facing village, and the time you'll reach Mori is like early evening, the sun will be casting this beautiful golden glow all across the valley and also River Tons. It's a space where you must ask your driver to stop for a couple of minutes and enjoy the scenery as you take a few moments of solitude next to River Tons. Now as you go further from Mori, you'll be going to Netwar. It will be a bumpy ride, and then finally you'll reach Sangkri, which is your base camp. Not a lot of people know that Sangkri is not the start point of the trek. You'll actually have to go a further 12 kilometers from Sangkri to this place called Taluka. Now if you're traveling with India Hikes, we'll be arranging the transport from Sangkri to Taluka. If you're traveling on your own, then you'll be able to get share taxis from Sangkri. They start at about 7 am. All the way up until 3 pm, there'll be share taxis going from Sangkri to Taluka. It'll cost you about 50 rupees per person. If you want, you can also book an entire vehicle. It'll be very expensive though, around 600. You can negotiate with them. The drive from Sangkri to Taluka is very pretty. In fact, as you drive up, you'll be going through pristine forests, and you'll be able to see a lot of cliffs and overhangs as you meander through very dangerous curves. And because you'll be traveling early morning, you'll be able to hear birds. So it really feels like you're entering this untouched world as you reach Taluka. Once you reach Taluka, that is where you'll be starting your trek. Now this is all that you need to know with regards to your travel to Harkidun trek. From Dehradun, you'll have to head to Sankri, and then from Sankri, you'll have to head to Taluka. Now, if you have any questions on how to make your travel plans, just drop in a comment and I'll help you out. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we're constantly posting information about treks and other relevant information in our trekking world. Also, if you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so you know the next time we make a video.